Thank you for coming back to Polka Dot Mailbox, and if you're new, welcome. Today I'm participating in a Grab 5 collaboration. I will link down below all the other talented paper crafters participating in this video. The first item is a mixed media, which I'm going to use paint. The second is stamps. The third is a die cut. I'm going to use these punches. I have die cuts, but the punches will be easier for the video. Ribbon is the fourth, and the fifth one is a unused embellishment. These are birthday wishes from Pebbles. I love this birthday collection, and I think it'll be really cute with this brand new Crate Paper Hooray products that I just got in, and I ordered them specifically thinking they would go well with this line. I love this whole collection. It's super colorful, and I'm really excited to show you what I have in store to create. So here is my inspiration. I recently watched a video by PinkStrawberryz, and I did up this fun envelope, and she did a tutorial on this card here. It's an interactive card, and I will link her down below so that you can create the same yourself. I plan to put some sequins or something in that envelope to make a shaker, but inside you also can open up each one of these things. So it says positive vibes under that one. Under this little flap, girl, you totally got this. Under the record here is you're the cutest thing ever. And then there is a little gift hidden inside the little coin pocket for my recipient. So I'm going to create something, this same sort of idea, with the birthday collection that I just showed you. So this is all heart from Crate Paper, and let's get started. So I've pre-cut all of the papers ahead of time so that it will fit inside of my vellum envelope. But before I actually get started with that, the first thing I have to do is use my paint, because this is something that needs to dry. It has to be my first step. I have never painted on vellum before, and I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out, but it actually worked really well, and I'm happy with how it went. I'm using the same layout sort of in mind to have that yellow underneath of the things that I'm going to layer on top. So you're not going to see a lot of it. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add in some almost like confetti type speckles just with the end of my brush. And it's going to really add to the birthday feel of celebration for this card. So I'm going to set that aside to dry, and that's going to act as the base for number 1, Grab 5 acrylic paint for the mixed media component of this challenge. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've taken some pre-cut measurements. So I needed the card to fit in here for it's a 5.5 by 5 envelope, and then you take a square to make that part of the card there, and it's 6 by 4, and then you score at 2, at 4, and you score down the middle the other way. You can watch this all in the tutorial that PinkStrawberryz has. She has all of the measurements, but I'm just showing you if you wanted to do the exact same size here, the measurements that I used for all the different score lines. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all of those components now. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut out the corners, the opposite diagonals, to create that little fold, and it was like a little tad bit uneven there. Now if I was to create this, I would have, and I had planned to use those actual words, I would have had to have done it a different way, but I knew I was going to be covering up the boxes to have these little 2x2 squares because they're the exact perfect size. So here I'm creating a little coin envelope part of the interactive card. I'm trying to decide which way I want to use it, and I decide that I want to go for the colorful sort of rainbow side. So you're just going to fold in all of those and adhere that all together. But before you do, the best thing to do is grab a punch so that you can punch it before you've glued your card together, and then it creates this perfect little pocket that will be glued on to the card there. So I'm just thinking about how the space will work. The other element that I'm going to use my punches here, and I'm going to create a little flap. And this sort of took longer than it should have. And I counted out the 5 scallops, and I just scored down and created a little fold. But the tricky part of this was because there was a birthday message underneath. I had to figure out how I could get the birthday message to read properly as you opened it up. So it says happy when you open it, and it was kind of finicky, but you can see basically I just need 2 scallop circles, and I had punched 3 just in case I needed to do something different to get that to be just right. So I eventually sort of figure it out here, but it adds a fun element, and you don't have to use scallops. The tutorial that I watched, she used just a plain circle, so that isn't the necessary like punch that you have to have. If you don't have that punch, if you just have a plain circle, it'll work as well. So I'm going to play around with some of the different squares. There are so many fun cut aparts from this collection that like I only cut one tiny little strip of them, and it was hard even to decide between the 2. So the ribbon that I'm going to use as part of this challenge, I am using it as a little tab for the recipient to be able to know which way that the card will open. So I just go ahead and I use my tiny attacher to staple it to the edge, and then because it adds a little bit of a dimension to it, I decide that I want to pop up the other part of the card so that it will lay flat, and that little ribbon won't sort of be standing out on the one side. I had to go ahead with a thinner piece of foam to still put on there so it would layer up properly so that it was all the same dimension along there. And then I realized before I do that, I better actually stamp, which is the other component of this challenge, is to stamp something. So I'm going to stamp messages on, and I decide to go with the 2 that have a mix of regular fonts and scripted fonts so that it's a nice balance. And I'm just testing it out here, and I'm going to use my Stays On ink, and it says to you from me, and then the other one says so glad we're friends, and then that's cute little messages on the inside of the card. And then it says to you from me, happy birthday party animal, glad we're friends. It almost is like a statement amongst itself, so it's actually very cohesive, the whole message, if they happen to read it all together like that. And now since I've stamped those, I can go ahead and I can glue on the cover of my card here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the zebra. I'm going to just pop up the dimension to all be level across the 3. And now that I've had a chance to experiment with the other one, I know what works. And the thing I really like about using the glue gun is that you have some play. So if you stick it down and it's not quite even, you get to sort of shimmy it around a little bit. The other thing I'm going to do is come in, and I'm actually going to put Velcro on all of the flaps. So in the tutorial that PinkStrawberryz does, she doesn't use Velcro on these as well, but I wanted to have everything lay nice and flat. So as she had done, she just cut the circles in half, because it's brilliant actually. A whole circle would have been too big, and it would have actually sort of hidden some of my message and stuff. So and it's unnecessary to have that big of a one. So it's nice that the little half moon circle, it makes my supplies go farther, as well as is a nice size space. So I'm going to have another interactive part of the video, or the card, is to have that little pocket created underneath that little flap book that I just created. And I had thought about perhaps maybe putting this cute little message in here, and I was trying to think about how I could put this little cupcake thing in. It would be much easier to punch something this shape and size if it hadn't already been cut into a 2x2 square. And then in the end, I decided, no, I don't even like that idea at all. Let's go in with some stickers. and find a fun message that will fit. And there's this fun little flag that says yay, and that's super cute, and it's exactly what I'm looking for. And since I have my stickers out, I decide I might as well decorate the little cover here while I'm at it, and I just add a little decoration there. So that will be the flap, and I just need to add that little Velcro to it, and it will be all ready to go. Since that's the main thing that is going to determine where everything needs to go because of the size of it, I was fine to just start gluing that down. So I'm going to create a little tab for my interactive card that's going to pull out, and it says happy birthday to you, so that's perfect as well. So I like how all the messages say different things. They say yay, and they say glad we're friends, and so it's not all just happy birthday over and over again. So I'm good to glue down my coin pocket now, and I can go ahead and decorate that after. I thought maybe I might put those paper clips in there, but they're going to go too far down. And then I was thinking of putting this camel inside, and I realized, oh no, he's got to go on the outside. Absolutely. That is like so cute. I absolutely love the way that that just fell into place. And in order to adhere this card down, I need to use my thin strip adhesive to only do 3 sides of this card to attach it, so that I can slide in that little happy birthday, and it's all perfectly sized to fit there. It fits all the way in, and I'm going to decorate the top while I have my stickers out here. I'm going to pop up that birthday, so I stick the gift underneath. I like the balance that it brings a little bit of a green in up there, and then I also really liked how it brought some more pink and that iridescent birthday into the mix as well. So I'm going to just check and see it does fit. And so now I can start doing the cover. I had pre-created a little ribbon with that same paper on my sewing machine. And at first I was thinking of using that snappy birthday crocodile. And I decided I did not like the way that green balanced out against the yellow. So I'm looking through the die cuts that came in the collection to see what other items fit well. And then I decided to go with this Let's Party zebra, which matches the inside of the card really well because we have that zebra on the one flap. And I love the way it comes together. Again, I've tied in ribbon, which was part of this collaboration challenge. I've just pre-done a little bow, just tied a bow with a plain ribbon. I was really impressed at how easily the glue gun glue hid behind these pieces. I wasn't sure if you would be able to see it in there or not. And I was happy about that. So I used one of the branding strips from the bottom of a page to create that little plaid sort of grounding point there. And then I'm just going to come in with my ribbon that I've already created. And I need to refill my glue gun. I'll pop a little flower. And I'm going to pop up that happy day. And I like the way that happy day matches the yellow ribbon that I had already pre-done. I do go in at the end, you'll see pictures. I put a button from this collection on top of that ribbon as well, and I really liked the way that turned out. So I might as well add some balloons to this part of the envelope as well, just to add, because you've got the confetti falling down and like the balloons floating up. I wanted to test on some vellum before I wrote in the little strings how this pen would work, because I've another thing never done on vellum before, and that pen worked really well to add in the little strings to sort of ground the balloons so they're not just sort of floating in the middle of nowhere. And last little touch, I'm going to come in and add my enamel dots. The very first set on the top of my box of huge enamel dot selection were these ones that matched the collection perfectly. And then for the final touch, I just need to find an embellishment that will fit in here. And this cake one was perfect. And again, it's another new message. So there you can see all of the different parts of the card. And I do go in later on and actually make it so that those doors will open up a little bit better by adding a little more foam in between. So yeah, it said let them eat cake, and that's the completed project. So thank you so much for watching, and check out all the other girls listed below to see the things they've created. We'll see you again next time. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you here. Hit the notification bell and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. See you again next time. Bye.